everyone. I'm Patty Devine, and welcome to 12 News in Focus. Every week, we take a look back at some of the great stories brought to you from our 12 News journalists. On today's show, our very own Tram Mai breaks bread with a celebrity chef, and some Valley students make contact with an astronaut aboard the International Space Station. But first, beautiful quilters making some ugly quilts for a good cause.
While their name is unique, these volunteers make it clear.
We are not ugly quilters. We make ugly quilts.
Made up of about 20 men and women, every Thursday they meet at First United Methodist Church in downtown Mesa to make these so-called ugly quilts for a good cause.
It warms my heart to know that we can help someone that is in need and help them through their troubles.
Spokesperson Nona Weiser has been volunteering here for more than 20 years. She says they hand sew sleeping bags for men, women, and children who are unhoused.
In 1991, they started sewing here, and it was all piecework. We're really blessed with donations now.
And then we add the towels and a t-shirt, a hat, and a scarf.
Everyone here has a vital role.
I have to sew them together onto the fabric.
I thread all the needles for everyone, and then I fill the coffee when it's empty.
For a cause they're all behind.
We all care about people that are struggling on the streets. You know, we could all be there someday.
There's a real need out there for the homeless. I am able to do something in my retired years instead of just being at home doing nothing.
Amongst the constant sound of sewing, laughter also echoes through the process. The friendships made here, making this fulfilling work go by a little faster.
I live alone, so it's nice that I can come and make friends.
Fun people to work with. We all have kind of the same motivation to help somebody less fortunate than we are.
Leading them to reach a historic milestone.
This is our 18,000th bag.
Donating 18,000 bags, leading to Arizona U.S. Congressman Greg Stanton awarding them a congressional commendation for their continued work.
It was very exciting.
Kind of a golden award for us.
While they are wrapping up for the season, since many volunteers are winter visitors,
I will miss it. I wish it went on all year.
it's this time together and helping those in need that make them excited to come back again. In Mesa, Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Unlike World War II or Korean War vets who returned to parades and cheers, Vietnam vets often came home alone, changing out of their uniforms as soon as they hit the ground to avoid the scorn of protesters.
It was horrendous, you know, it was spit on and cussed at, kicked at.
There was a sea of people there, protesters, and they pounded on the bus and they were calling us every name in the book.
That's why this ceremony in Scottsdale was something special. With the help of Dillon Precision Products and Veterans Affinity, 10 Vietnam veterans finally received a proper welcome home.
Like, it's an opportunity for a reset, for a do-over. You know, hit the reset button and do it right. It was very emotional. And some of them kissed the ground when they came back. Some of them were shaking.
They took a trip down memory lane in a UH-1 Iroquois helicopter, famously known as the Huey. It became the main helicopter for any mission in Vietnam, from carrying troops into battle to medevac missions under fire.
This is exactly the type of helicopter that I flew in Vietnam. It's called a Slick. This one's prettier. It's got a nice paint job on it. Nothing like, and it doesn't have any bullet holes in it like some of the things that we flew in over there.
After their commemorative flight, they touched down to cheers and some tears from family and friends.
To see my dad get the welcome home that he deserved, can't ask for anything more. Can't ask for anything more. Just to see the tears in his eyes stepping out of that gunner seat and getting a welcome home.
And for these veterans, their call to service runs deep as they continue to give back, helping fellow service members through volunteer work with a nonprofit that gave back to them.
Well, I'm going to continue to serving the rest of the veterans. We still have lots of veterans that are alone, and that's our purpose, is to make sure that they're not alone anymore. And I just plan on continuing as long as I can.
Chase Tower has been the tallest building in Arizona for decades now, but in just a few years, this empty lot behind me will become the new tallest building in Arizona.
You know, it's the 5th largest city in the country, and yet we don't have a skyscraper, which is crazy, right?
Which, in a few years, Jeff Jacobs says that will change. Arrow, a 2-tower project, will be almost 60 feet taller than the old Chase Tower.
We're shooting to be permit ready by the end of the year. Very complicated project, obviously, a lot of moving parts. We want to get it right.
It's been a decade since Jacob started planning for this building. Now it's starting to get real. Mayor Kate Gallego even brought it up during the State of the City this week.
At the very top of the building, the team behind Wren & Wolf and Cleaverman. So this is going to be the tallest building in all of Arizona. Is going to do some great restaurants, including like a wonderful cocktail bar.
It was exciting to have her say that, and it was very cool.
The project includes a high-end hotel, retail, restaurants, and yes, apartments.
380 units of very high-end Class A++ multifamily. Views in every direction, very highly amenitized. That's one component. On the South Tower, we're doing something called co-living, which is now you're seeing in more evolving downtowns all over the country.
Co-living means you rent an ensuite instead of the whole apartment and have roommates you didn't choose. But hundreds of new apartments and suites, who's renting them? Especially when the current largest tower has been empty for years.
A lot of people told us the same thing, like, where are these people going to come from?
From a demand standpoint, things are holding up well. And I think that's largely just tied to that this is a cool place that people want to be.
Which, if you remember even 10 or 15 years ago, wasn't always the case. Connor Devereaux with CoStar and Homes.com says it's not that people are coming to downtown because apartments are cheaper than houses, it's because they want to be here. Right now, 90% of those apartments are rented, which is actually slightly down.
And so that's one of the things that's causing rent growth to be negative. It's been negative for 3 years.
Devereaux doesn't really see a cap, at least not yet. He says we still need more housing. Jacob says he expects to break ground next year, with tenants living there in about 3 more. William Pitts, 12 News.
And coming up, from the Valley to the NFL, a local kid gets drafted in the first round.
I'm Allison Rodriguez, morning anchor on 12 News and new mom who has lived here for more than a decade. I love getting your mornings off to a great start. Whether it's covering breaking news from the Grand Canyon to Flagstaff and everywhere across the valley to documenting what's happening on our border, we've got you covered because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to the Valley's top streaming newscasts. Weekdays starting at 4:26 a.m. anywhere you watch.
Hi guys, I'm Giada De Laurentiis and you are in my home kitchen.
Best known for cooking on the Food Network, Giada De Laurentiis wears many hats. Besides being an Emmy Award-winning chef, she's a New York Times best-selling author, host, mom, entrepreneur, and restaurateur, which is why it was so fitting that we met up in one of her signature Italian restaurants, Luna by Giada.
Why the name Luna, first of all?
So my grandmother is a big influence in my life, as is my grandfather. And because my grandmother was the one who taught us about the moon as children, we used to call her Nonna Luna instead of her actual name. And so that's where the inspiration came from.
But the inspiration to cook started at a young age. Born in Rome, Giada came from a large Italian family.
My grandfather's family had a pasta factory in Naples before World War II. So my grandfather and his siblings would go door to door and sell his parents' pasta and sauce. So in those days, outside of Naples, in the suburbs basically, they would make fresh pasta and then basically hang it on the rooftops. And on the roof, because of the way the Mediterranean trade winds cross that area, it dries the pasta with this like salty kind of rough edge to it that really grabs onto sauce really well. That was part of the mystique and why that pasta from that region became so popular. So he came from that tradition. And then obviously during World War II, his parents, everybody lost their businesses because Naples was bombed quite a bit. And my grandfather ended up going into the movie business.
Giada's grandfather, Dino De Laurentiis, became a prolific film producer whose career spanned more than 60 years and who Giada pays homage to at Luna. But it's the memories in the kitchen that Giada still savors.
When I was little, me and my siblings, he'd make pizza dough, right? And then he would basically give us all little toppings that we could make our own pizzas with. And I think that the creativity of that and the ability to actually taste as I went along blew my mind. And for me, that's where the passion started.
That passion is what Giada wants to share with everyone. She launched 2 restaurants in Vegas and opened Luna by Giada at Caesars Republic Scottsdale in 2024, along with Pronto by Giada, a more fast casual concept.
What is it that you wanted people to feel and taste and love, just based on this lifestyle and this location?
Well, I think that the beauty and the reason I came to Scottsdale also is because it does mimic a lot of my lifestyle in California. It's light and sunny,
Yes.
right? People understand food here. There's a ton of foodies here that really want quality and they want a really amazing Italian experience.
One way is with the new pasta cart experience, part of Giada's new spring menu.
Because cacio e pepe is about the pecorino and the parmigiano together. And you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. Finish it with a little bit more cracked pepper, table side.
But one thing that won't change on the menu, Giada's wildly popular lemon pizza.
You're gonna count to 3 and go boom, and just let it slide right off.
I did it! Coming in hot.
Okay. A little bit of parm, and then we put a little bit of fresh basil. But we fold it over like a sandwich.
So good.
From cooking in the kitchen to building her brand Giazzi, a line of curated Italian products, this celebrity chef is non-stop.
You have done so much in your career, in your life, from the shows to the books.
I have had a really amazing journey.
Let me ask, what are you most proud of?
Well, I think I'm most proud of Jade, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, I will be completely honest. I did not envision myself with kids. And I will tell you, I was incredibly scared to have her because I knew it would impact my life.
Right.
And it threw a little curveball in my life, but I have to tell you, the best curveball that has ever happened to me.
Look at her. She's looking chic.
Truly. It made me grow in ways I never knew was possible. I really also think that I would not have the longevity in my career if I hadn't had a kid.
We're out here, and it's very romantic.
Cherishing these moments with her daughter Jade before she goes off to college, taking life one day at a time, learning that balance comes with time, and prioritizing.
And I want to prioritize being with her.
Caleb, how are you, man? It's Coach Vrabel.
I'm doing good, Coach. How you doing?
It's a moment.
You're doing great, man. Congratulations.
That for one Gilbert family was years in the making.
Patriots.
We started off calm, got really nervous, and then when his name was called, it was just a release, and we were relieved and ecstatic, and it was a lot of fun.
Just watching him on the phone call and get emotional and like see his dreams finally come to light, like, I don't know, it was amazing.
Caleb Lomu.
Caleb Lomu was the 28th pick in this year's NFL draft, selected by the New England Patriots.
It's here, like he did it. So proud of him.
His parents, Bill and Shelley, say their son began playing when he was 7.
Doesn't like attention. He doesn't want the glory. He gives it to his teammates. He goes out there and he plays for everyone else.
He gives his all. He loves it. He's had a lot of joy. So watching him play was just a lot of fun, just because his love for the game, his love for, trying to be the best.
That love was seen Caleb's freshman year.
First of all, he's a great young man.
By Highland High offensive line coach Terry Fair, who says Caleb always excelled on the field.
There came a point in time where I felt like coaching became easy. By his senior year, he had just retained so much, and he was a sponge.
But it's his character off the field.
His kindness and his generosity.
That Fair says made him shine.
I was able to visit with Caleb a little bit, pre-draft, and got to talk to him a little bit. And so I knew that he was prepared, he was ready, he's excited for it, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited to watch his career and how he develops in the NFL.
Best offensive lineman I've ever seen.
Head football coach Brock Farrell says the Patriots picked a winner.
Is phenomenal a good enough adjective? He literally could do everything. He was the best athlete on our team the 4 years that he was here.
For Caleb's parents,
he did say he's ready to go work.
Thursday's selection marked the moment their son's dream became a reality.
Such a huge relief. We've been waiting for that moment for a long time.
A moment they always knew was possible. One they say Caleb worked tirelessly to achieve. And they know he'll make Gilbert proud.
Just go give it your all, foot on the gas, just go as hard as you can.
What's your one advice for him?
Keep your feet moving, keep your hands inside, keep your head on a swivel.
And coming up, 12 News' Troy Lynch scrambles up Flatiron in the Superstition Mountains so that you don't have to.
This is Whiskey Bravo 7 Tango Juliet Delta for scheduled school contact.
250 miles, up 12,000 miles an hour.
This is Whiskey Bravo 7 Tango Juliet Delta for a scheduled school contact. Over.
There was always a chance this call wouldn't connect.
This is the International Space Station. We copy you loud and clear and are looking forward to some wonderful questions.
November 1.
That's astronaut Chris Wilson, 147 days in space on the radio. And these kids from ASU Prep in Mesa get to ask him questions.
Hi, my name is Jude. How do you sleep without a bed, and how does sleeping in space affect your body? Over.
We sleep in a sleeping bag almost standing up. But because there's no gravity, it feels really comfortable.
The entire school has been studying space for the whole school year, learning about the solar system, the space station, all leading up to this, an antenna on the roof, ham radio operators making it all work.
The entire school brainstormed those questions, worked on them.
And a lucky group of kids got to ask them to a real astronaut floating in space.
Hi, my name is Noah. What special techniques help plants grow in space, and why is burying the support for future missions? Over.
That's a great question. Actually, right next to me on the space station now, we have a little experiment where we're growing alfalfa plants.
How cool was that?
So cool.
Like a 10 out of 10. We're like a 10 out of 1,000. 9.9999999 trillion out of 100. And we have been practicing for a very long time. It was really cool, and I'm very happy about it, and barely any people gets to do it.
When you miss your family, what helps you feel connected even though you are far away? Over.
Great question, Lincoln. Well, I have two little daughters, and I have their pictures up in my little crew, my little room, and I like to look at that, and that makes me think that I'm connected back to Earth.
That connection, a radio signal from the people the farthest away from Earth to kids who may one day leave Earth themselves, maybe future astronauts, engineers, who knows? All from a radio call to Mesa.
I was so proud, and it was a moment that none of us will ever forget.
Mission complete. Do you copy?
William Pitts, 12 News.
Linda Taylor has been through it multiple times. As a former special education director, she helped close schools and move some of the district's most vulnerable students.
One year we closed 2 schools, and then right before I left the district and retired, we closed 3 schools in 1 year.
Each of those campuses home to specialized programs and families who relied on them.
It's human nature to be resistant to change, and especially with parents with special needs students, their level of anxiety is definitely heightened.
From safety concerns to longer bus rides, leaving behind routines and trusted staff, the transition can feel overwhelming for everyone. But Taylor says there is reassurance built into the system.
They've been in the school where their child is attending, and they know that it's safe. They've watched the safeguards about, my child might be an eloper, a kid who runs and flees the campus. They need to know that those same safety measures will be in place.
Now, she's helping families navigate that same uncertainty, joining virtual town halls hosted by Champions for Kids, a coalition of parents, attorneys, and advocates working to guide families through school closures.
There's some things that they're just not going to know, but there's a lot of things that they can do ahead of time.
Founder Carla Phillips-Kravickas says while every student feels the impact, for those with disabilities, the questions are different. In some cases, there may be little choice in where a child goes next.
If they're in a specialized autism program and that program is being picked up and moved to school A, you're going to school A.
But there is one critical tool families can lean on.
Number one is to make sure that the IEP is up to date. That's your passport, and that's what the new school knows that they have to provide for you.
An individualized education program, or IEP, is a legal document, meaning services must follow the student. The leading message in these town halls: prepare now, ask questions, visit new campuses, and most importantly, speak up.
Be your child's best advocate. You know your child better than anybody, and make sure that the school that they're going to knows your child.
Welcome
Welcome to the Superstition Wilderness. We are so excited to finally be doing Flatiron. However, this trail is going to be tough. It's almost 6 miles long and 2,700 feet of climbing. Got to warm up the legs, but we're so excited. Let's go. This is an Arizona bucket list hike that has amazing views the entire time. However, before you get to the trailhead, you do have to pay $20 if you have 2 or more people in your car. Thank you. All right, back to the hiking. Do you see where we're going? We're trying to get here, the rock that looks like a flat iron. That's the shot. That's what we needed. This is a hike that I recommend you do with others just to make sure you're safe. Also, there is way too much boulder scrambling for dogs. So we're about 1.5 miles into the hike. I'm already starting to sweat. We started early too. So make sure you do that. But look at these views. There's pretty much no downhill to the top, so pace yourself because you'll need fresh legs for this, the Slick Rock Amphitheater. What are you doing? Let's go. Ow, my quads! The toughest part is a class 3, 10 to 12 foot scramble up this wall. Now take your time because this can be dangerous, but if you're not feeling the main route, about 50 feet before the wall, there's a path that might take a little bit longer, but you can skip the climb entirely. But after you get through that, you're practically to the top. The burn in your legs, all the climbing and scrambling, now worth it because of the 360-degree views like this. Thanks for hiking Flatiron with us. Join us for our next adventure on Rediscover Arizona.
Thanks everyone for watching, and just a reminder, new episodes of 12 News in Focus premiere every Friday on 12+. You can also watch past episodes on the app. It's simple, just download 12+ on your TV devices and you can watch for free. I'm Kariba Devine. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.